Kina.
Aloha. Aloha and good evening. My name is Malia Gustin. I serve as the chair for the Nānākuli Ma'ili Neighborhood Board number 36. I'm calling this meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, May 20th, 7 p.m., and we are meeting in person at the Nānākuli Public Library and virtually via WebEx. A neighborhood board meeting is a monthly open forum between government representatives, elected officials, and members of the community. Members of the public have the right to submit testimony on any and all agenda items. We have a full agenda tonight, so to keep our items moving, I will go over some rules of speaking. If anyone wishes to speak, I will ask that in-person attendees line up at the microphone, and those joining us on WebEx, please raise your virtual hand. When recognized by the chair, state your name clearly for the minutes. Comments must be kept under 2 minutes, officials' monthly reports under 3 minutes, and presenters under 10 minutes. Sergeant at Arms will be keeping time, so please end your comments when the timer goes off. I will also ask you to conclude your comments. I would like to remind everyone that this is a community forum, so we welcome all comments, concerns, questions, and even opinions. Be free to share your mana'o on our agenda items, and remember to treat others with respect and engage with the spirit of aloha. If I can ask our board member, Jermaine Myers, to open us with a pule.
Thank you, everyone, for coming this evening. We honor everyone's spiritual practice. For those of you who want to join me with pule kako, please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us here this evening. Thank you for guiding our deliberations, our discussions, and our decisions. Thank you for lifting up our lahui, lifting up our community. Thank you for guiding resources towards us. And thank you for helping us to be open to receiving those resources. Thank you, Lord, for all that you provide for us in our resources, in our aina, in our vai, and with one another. We ask all of these things in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Thank you. First on our agenda, we have Honolulu Fire Department. None present, none online. Next up, we have the Honolulu Police Department.
Evening, aloha, board chair, members, and community of Nānākuli. Sergeant Moroka with HPD District 8 Community Policing Team. Here with the stats for the month of April. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, crime stats for April. So we have copies over here, but so for the district, we had 15 motor vehicle thefts. Nānākuli, we had 1. Burglaries, 19. Nānākuli, 1. Thefts, 121 in the district, 14 in our area. Unauthorized entry into motor vehicles, so car break-ins, there were 32 in the district, 4 in our area. Total citations issued, 436 in our area. Total calls for service in the district, 8,441. In Nānākuli, we had 1,426 calls for service. So looking at the stats, no crime is better, but not too much change from previous months. Just wanted to let you know that. Just one announcement. We are already in May of 2025, and we are starting the plans for Operation Blue Light Christmas. This will be the 4th year. It will take place on December 13th, 2025, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. This is during the Christmas on the Ave event on December 13th. So partnering with Pastor Allen and Nānākuli Protestant Church, we'll be passing out over 2,000 gifts to the youth. No charge. First come, first serve. Just ask that the youth come with the parents. So all the keiki are welcome to come down and get a free Christmas present. And we have the flyers over here. Place copies on the table so you can remind yourself to be there. Pastor, did you want to come up and say anything about that? Or?
Aloha, Chair and members of the board. Operation Blue Light Christmas is just a powerful opportunity to bring out the best and the blessed from the West, to be able to bring the police and the community together under positive circumstances and situations. Police Department, Major Beckley. Roland is Roland online. Roland was the corporal of the year. I recognize, and we got some of the best police officers on this side of the island, especially a community policing team. It's an opportunity for us to come together in a Christmas spirit right here in this valley because we are the people of Aloha. So thank you, HPD. Thank you, board. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys.
Sorry. Any questions for HPD?
Any questions from the board? Board Member Myers?
Mahalo. I'm the chair of the Transportation Committee, and I just have one request. If you can ask Major Beckley, for the last couple months, Councilmember Tupola has been trying to organize for all the city officials from the various departments that manage the Waianae Coast Emergency Access Road, trying to convene us into a meeting. So HPD, DEM, DTS, DFS, so that we can, number one, update the memorandum of understanding that is going to be expiring in August. And so we need to renew that. But most importantly, myself and Richard Lanford from the Transportation Committee, we want to be able to sit at the table with all of you so that we can go over a very effective action plan. Because currently, when there's an incident, there's inaction or there's slow action. And so we're just trying to get everybody to come into agreement and who's going to do what, etc. And I know HPD has shortage of staff, so we need to start identifying who at Department of Emergency Management from the city can go and open up the gates when we need them to open up. So that's why we've been trying to convene a meeting together through Councilmember Tupola's office. But if you can ask Major Beckley, the last time you guys had a meeting was in 2024, and nothing has happened since then. Well, 2023. And so everybody did not come back together. Department of Transportation Service was supposed to provide a updated memorandum of understanding for everyone to deliberate on, but that was 2 years ago. So now that it's coming up for expiration in August, I don't want to wait till August. We want to start identifying it because anytime now an accident can happen. And I don't want HPD to take the stance that an emergency access road can only be used for natural disasters. Because the MOU says any emergency, which according to DEM includes an accident that causes gridlock traffic on Farrington Highway. So even though the Pa'akea is going to be open up as a 24/7 in September, that's the goal from the State Department of Transportation, we still need we have 3 other access roads, right, that we need to have a plan of action for to be able to utilize them. Have the gates opened up.
I'll bring that to Major Beckley's attention, and I'll follow up on that. Yeah.
Mahalo.
Online, you can go ahead and unmute.
Yeah, you can hear me. Hello, this is Lieutenant Carrera. I
Can
think
you
they're already.
unmute? We're not able to hear you.
Yeah, no,
Oh, you can't
no
hear me?
volume.
Hello? I'm
LT can't hear you.
unmuted. Oh, hello?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can hear him on my side. You guys can't hear him on.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hear him.
You may need to log off
not
and
getting
log
volume.
back on and
I'll,
connect your audio.
I'll type the response if you can't hear me. It's about the MOU.
Only us online can hear him, I guess, because they can't hear us on the
yeah,
other
LT, we're not getting volume.
Yeah. This is Coco Pig. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah,
guys hear
we
me?
can hear you,
So we
Roland.
have done exercises with
Yeah. We can hear him online, so I'm not sure why you guys can't hear him.
joint operation rehearsal. You know, if we were to open up Kole Pass and things like that a few months ago, so it is in the works. But yeah, I agree with you. We should meet, you know, with the board involved and come up with a plan, a solid plan for a situation where
Some
the
of the
traffic
things that
is
I
really bad.
highlighted to council member is we got to keep in mind, if we're going to be in gridlock traffic for 4 hours,
Yeah.
some of our community members don't have air condition on their cars.
Mhm.
If they have children or an infant in the car and they're in the hot sun because they're in a gridlock, you know, they get overheated. If they got to roll down their windows, they're consuming the fumes from the other cars. They might want to use the restroom. They're hungry. They may need medication. So we cannot look at the gridlock as, okay, that's secondary only, and it's just a matter of convenience. No, it's a matter of public safety. Yeah, so we discussed those things in our transportation committee, but we just need the city to get on board with it, to meet and convene. Yeah, thank
agree.
you.
Thank you. We're just going to take a brief recess to assess the audio. Meeting call to order. Okay, go ahead and unmute to share your comment. Lieutenant Carrera.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Oh,
we can.
yeah. So I put in the message and I called Sergeant Fumi just while we were on break, but basically DEM is working on the MOU. So they're already aware that it's set to expire. They are working on it. We don't have a date.
Again, one brief moment.
Okay, you can continue.
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So just DEM is working on the MOU. So they are aware that it's expiring and they're working on an updated version. And we gave feedback to DEM so that way we can make sure that we have a plan moving forward. Yeah, because it is a little outdated. Yeah, so that's where that MOU is at.
Thank you. Any questions from the community for HPD? I do have a comment. I just wanted to say thank you. I did see law enforcement out there on Lualua Naval Road when the light went out, just directing traffic. And it's really helpful when we do have a traffic light on Farrington Highway that is out, especially during the after hours when school is coming out. So we appreciate that you folks were readily available and addressing that. Thank you. Nothing else. Next on our agenda, we have our state official monthly reports. We're going to move forward to our state senator, Samantha D. Court.
Good evening, Chair, Board members, Samantha D. Court. Well, we are officially wrapped up our 2025 legislative session. So all of the bills that passed the ledge are on its way to the governor's office. We're hoping that some of the more pressing bills that could directly affect our community in a positive way get signed sooner rather than later. Some of those bills are Duke's Law, which is SB 1296. Ag crimes have been very heavy on this side. I'm continuing to work with Department of Law Enforcement. Director Mike Lambert is rallying his team to make sure that we have extra enforcement on this site. They do have a space, I don't want to call it a substation, but they have a space at Waianae Boat Harbor. So they're already in there. We're hoping actually to bring out here a substation with their own building. So we are working on that just to make sure that we have greater enforcement out here on this side. But right now, all of the bills and funding is pending the governor's sign off. So I don't want to put too much out there. We never know, although I have been getting good feedback on some of the bills that we're championing for on this side. But other than that, I'll go ahead and open up for questions.
Thank you, Senator. Any questions from the community? Seeing none. Any questions from the board? Seeing none. Thank you, Senator.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, board members.
Next, we have our State Representative, Darius Kila.
Hello, board. Nice to see you folks in person. Thank you folks for your patience this session. Like Senator said, yeah, we're done. And it's been a great session and I'm just grateful for the chance to serve. This is my third year and this is my first year chairing the House Committee on Transportation. And I would like to say probably my best year yet. I passed 8 bills that came out of my office, several dozen resolutions, and out of the Transportation Committee from both the Senate and the House, there's about 31 bills going to governor's desk from our committee. So a lot of great accomplishments this session. And my newsletter, I mean, fingers crossed. I don't think any of these are on the veto list, but they really are like the culmination, I think, of just working with community and being around community. And to a lot of things, I'm grateful the first 2 years, there was 4 pieces of legislation I got to author, but it really is that next term where I get to get my feet under myself and my grounding. And it just was so much fun just to run with it this legislative session. It was crazy to say the least, and we're probably not out of the clear yet. But as you folks know, the session is just a visual ending. As you folks know, in our district, the work never ends and it never stops. But I'm just grateful for the chance and opportunity to serve. And yeah, as we head into the summer, I'm excited. I just ask that we continue to be safe on our roadways. And as you folks know, whether it's coordinating with HPD. And I would actually say that this is probably the most collaborative session I've had to work with HPD this year because a lot of legislation that comes out of transportation is HPD focused. So I'm very grateful for their partnership, Major Slater. And I think one of them I'm super proud of is how you folks have probably brought up from last year was just the illegal use of what is and isn't an e-bike. And so that's 22 pages, HB 958 going to governor's desks. That was a lot of fun to author and write. But again, that's just a process of learning and I'm just thankful to serve. So excited for the summer ahead. I know we have graduation this week and yeah, I'll take any questions at the time.
Thank you. Congratulations on your 8 bills. We appreciate your hard work. Any questions from the community for Representative Kila?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for coming, Darius. First off, I want to say you're awesome. You do a good job. Anytime somebody has a complaint on Facebook, you're on it. And I want to say keep up the good work. But the biggest problem I have right now is the junk cars parked right in front or right next to Miley Elementary School, Kaukamana Street. Supposedly belong to the guy across the street. What's happening is all these parents are dropping off or picking up their kids from school. They park right in the middle, blocking Kaukamana Street. Nobody can get up, nobody can get down. I encounter that every day because I live right around the corner from there. What I would like to see is all these junk cars taken out of there so we can have parking to pick up the kids. And Miley itself has a problem with parking. There's not enough parking. for any of the parents, even for the teachers. And this guy, he has about 8, 9 cars parked up right next to Maile Elementary School, right on Kakamana. And they've been sitting there for, I've lived there 15 years, and the same cars has been there that long. And I'd like to find out if we can do something about it. It's a hazard, especially when the parents got to drop off their kids, park in the middle of the road, and the kids got to walk on the road to get into the school grounds. And to me, that's not safe. Thank you.
To Mr. Cowell's point, out of the office of Senator Gabbard, there was a bill that he authored that amends Chapter 291C, which is the traffic code, to make it clear that the traffic code is applicable to all county and state-owned roads. So I think the intention is what's happening in the villages of Kapolei is that there's this folks at the county level saying that they can't enforce the traffic code, which is the towing. This will give parity to what they actually can and cannot do, which will allow them to actually broaden the traffic code enforcement. But the exciting part is that the way the bill is interpreted, I let the Department of Homelands know that this is actually now all HPD needs to, I say this nicely. I think that back and forth of it's not county, it's not state, this clearly now states that the traffic code is applicable on all state county roads. Noting that Department of Homeland's properties may not have been conveyed to the county, it's still state-owned, but the traffic code is applicable. So Mr. Cowles, if you can just, I will follow up with HPD to see what can be done. And yes.
Thank you. We have a hand raised with Corporal Pagan.
Yeah, hi, board. Thank you. I just wanted to mention that, the community can get involved with that by going to the 311 app. And they can actually report the derelict or abandoned vehicles on there themselves as well. So if officers can't get out there, all they need to do is get the license plate, a description of the vehicle, and where the vehicle is located, and they can go and fill out the information on the city's abandoned vehicle website, and the abandoned vehicle section guys will come out and mark the cars and start working on them. So just an opportunity for the community to get involved that way. Thank you.
Thank you, Corporal Bagan.
Thank you. Any other questions from the board? Board Member Myers.
Thank you. Thank you, Rep. Keela, for your report. So a few things that I wanted to ask you. So first, I wanted to acknowledge and I appreciate your hard work as the chair of the Transportation Committee. You were just like whiplashing my head. I mean, just with your emails, your engagement, and how many bills you were trying to push through for our community in order to make it more safe on the roads, on the bike paths, etc. So I so appreciate all of the hard work that you did this legislature. Yes. And then I'm looking forward to your town halls. Is that in this?
Yes. So Board Member Myers had asked for a comprehensive legislative wrap-up, and I had shared I didn't want to jump the gun until we know what is being signed and what is not being signed. But there are 5 town halls slated for this interim, for the first one to be a wrap-up. So once I can get the clean green light, that will be coming out to you folks. Next month in June, the first one will be, I know the BWS has been kind of talking about it, but they're going to do a virtual town hall for the community to kind of update you folks where they're at. And then hoping to do it in the month of July or August for the comprehensive, and then just roll straight into the end of next year.
Nice. The town halls are so effective for our community to kuka. So I appreciate your town halls. And then my third thing is Lau Lau Day. Did you come up with a date already?
Sorry, say it again.
Lau Lau Day.
What about it?
Do you have a date for it?
Oh, so in its original intent, it was May 1st, but in the CD one that's heading to governor's desk, it'll be the first Friday of May. So unfortunately, we could sign it this year, but its first celebration will be next year.
Going to be 2026.
Yeah.
Okay. I think our community should lead the way on Lau Lau Day and show the rest of the island how we do Lau Lau Day.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree. And just full transparency, and I'll say it here, and I will tell anybody that it is not a secret that my family and I make lau laus. I made the bill in honor of my father. I just think of him and every other local person that just has a dream of selling food. At the legislature, we've passed the Kimchi Day bill last year, and I thought we missed a really great chance to just fortify where Native Hawaiians exist in the state in Hawaii. And there was a really nice write-up in Star Advertiser 2 weeks ago about, amidst everything happening around the world, that the legislature deemed a culture food worthy of a day, and then now September as Native Hawaiian History Month. So it just was something to honor every single person that just has a dream.
You're putting our taro plant on the planet.
Yes.
I mean, on the map, as far as to focus that on using, you know, the laulau to make the laulau, the leaves, but poi is going to come with the laulau, right?
Yeah, it's about, I mean, in like one of our senators, their whole thing is like value added. And if you look at like in the most minute version of a laulau, it takes several things to make it work. And I just think, what a great way to lift up food.
Well, I'm looking forward to the last thing, and it's going to be tied to the governor's, I'm going to actually the governor's rep. But because you are the Hawaii Interagency Council on Homelessness on the House side, the representative of, I didn't want to bother you, but this issue came up from March. But I've been telling our housing committee that we're going to wait till you're out of it, because it has to do with the report that came out in March.
Yes.
By John Mizuno.
Yes.
And there were a couple of things on it that we were concerned about.
Yes.
So number one, US vet funding, but the address of the project is Cedar Farm on Waianae Valley Road. And so where did the money go to? Cedar Farm or US vet? And then the second one was the Kauhale program was supposed to be new projects to get the homeless off the street into those new projects. That's what my understanding of Kauhale was. But unfortunately, one of the items on the list was a property in Wahiawa that's the House of Blessing, a nonprofit that's a clean and sober program that has always been there. Why is the funding going towards a clean and sober program for Kauhale?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have like Makana Keokua, you know, we got Moka and a lot of other nonprofits that do clean and sober. Why couldn't they get, you know, Kauhale monies if they're going to be, so I'm just concerned about that. So I'll bring it up to the governor's rep.
But frankly, there was a really damning report that came out of just showing, I say this, I think when emergency proclamations are issued, they have really good intent. And I think though, to some extent, you need to have safeguards. So the bill that passed this year requires the bidding and issuing of monies that are coming out of Kauhale to go through the 2-bidder process, because through the emergency proclamation, there was, I don't want to say abuse, but the use of pretty much sole sourcing through some of it. And when you don't have that accountability, it is frustrating. So to your point, Board Member Myers, right, if the intent is to stand up new things and you're drawing down funds for this, it is concerning. I definitely have put it out back in March. As you folks know, there's a change in leadership at that office. We now have June Yang, who previously was at the Department of Transportation, who is now heading that office, trying to get him to let him get himself under the feet. But to your point, I think that we definitely, you folks do deserve some kind of clarity and parity on what the money is being used for. So I will follow up.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Salcedo's online, please unmute.
Aloha. Kilo Boy, I just want to say thank you for your diligent response on things. I'm very proud of you. And, you know, people see me that we're from Makaha. But let me tell you, I have a kahali. I have a home in Maili. So I'm very proud of you on what you're doing, taking a step. And yes, we do need answers what's going on with money flying all over the place. And we don't I personally do not understand the emergency proclamation, because homeless is not an emergency proclamation when there's available beds out there and shelters out there. It's the choice of the individual that they want to get the help. It's there. But if they do not want to follow the rules, that's the issue. We do not have a houseless and a homeless problem. We have a drug addiction problem. That's what we have in our community. So, you know, I would like to see more focus for assisting on those type of people who think they don't need their help, but yet they're looking for it for the handouts. We don't need to hand out any more things that's not working. We need to be more cautious when money is flying and what nonprofit organization is flying, and make sure when we get money from those capitals, when they say it's for a certain district, like Kailua, if money is designated for Kailua for a nonprofit organization, make sure it's for Kailua, not being invested or turn around buying property to reinvest with that money. So that's a problem that we have and we all know that we've been facing that for years. But I have faith in you and our legislatures. I have faith to correct the problems that we are facing in our community because we're tired being on the back burners and waiting for our share of moolah. We need our share too. Mahalo.
Hey, I want to acknowledge that the Saucedos became a staple at the legislature this year, and they were so welcome to see on the second, third, and fourth floor. And to their credit, I think a lot of the legislation that came onto the Senate committees was some of them. If I could just direct you folks to HB 1462, which expands the crisis intervention services, which this was modeled after a majority package bill last year. The EV Lake Crisis Center is what this is modeled after. This has been effective in the last several months of diverting up to 25% of MH1 patients from our emergency rooms, putting them in places that they're not, putting them actually in a place that they need to be and getting law enforcement back to the roads quicker. The intent is to expand it to the place where data shows it's needed on the island of Oahu. And if you take a look at the way that we do the point in time counts, if it's not downtown Honolulu, it is West Oahu. And the idea is that this would actually serve Wahiawa and West Oahu, hopefully. There's no location set, but this allows the parameters to start getting the ball rolling. And the Department of Health is leading this, which I think is important because we talk about abuse and a lot of it goes back to mental health treatment. I think the county has done a great job at issuing the contracts that work with Kealoha West Oahu, but I think the state has to step up as well. So I've seen it work at Ivile. And if you folks want to tour the spot, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to set you folks up to go out there and see it firsthand. It was amazing. So hopefully Governor will sign this and it'll start laying it out for us to get a facility like that. Yeah.
Thank you. Any further questions from the community? From the board member Shinsato.
Thank you, Chair. I want to congratulate our legislative team, Senator DeCourt, Representative Keela, for all your hard work this session, as well as Representative Morioka. I just wanted to change focus on the upcoming project for the 5th lane widening on Farrington Highway. My question is, when the project goes for this new phase 2, are they going to take care of the problem that was created on phase 1, where either they missed the drainage on the Makai side in between Helelua and Haleakala, or it just was never designed that way because there's missing drainage on that? And on a rainy day, it doesn't have to be on hurricane, can be on Kona Low, can be even on just one regular rainy day, consistent 5 minutes. That intersection at Helelua floods and there's no drainage, okay? And the second thing is, when you get past that on phase 2, if you're gonna change all the existing drains, it's actually right now French drains. And the effectiveness of French drains is 0, in my opinion. It doesn't cause anything. I just wanted to see one actually working drainage, whether it be retention tanks or do what the developer did at Nānākuli Village. He got drainage on the front side of the property, going the length of the property and emptying out into this canal right here. What's to prevent us from doing the same thing?
Yeah, I will follow up to make sure that that is engineered into the design, and if not, bring that up. Because to your point, the Helelua down to Mohihi is the next phase.
Right.
So I will let them know on that.
Because the bypass from Pakia by Hakimu Road coming this way leads back into Farrington Highway right at Helelua. And if that thing in that intersection, when it floods, it's horrendous. How are they going to get bypassed? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Because I attended the meeting for a new phase two, maybe about 2 years ago. They held a meeting in Waianae as well as Nānākuli. I attended the Waianae one, and I asked the engineer at SSFM, what is the categorization of storm drainage? And she said it's resiliency. I've never heard that terminology in construction. So I asked her, explain what resiliency means in the context of construction. So she said that how long does the drain takes to come back to normal operation? And I said, okay, I think you got to rethink a storm drain. I don't think it should be resilient. I think it's a safety issue, in my opinion. So, I don't know if we can change that categorization, but I feel it needs to be changed.
Yeah, hopefully it is in the design, and if not, it can be incorporated into the work order and the bid. So we don't have to do a separate project. So I will follow up with them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Representative Kila.
Thank you, folks.
We appreciate your time. Next, we have the Governor Josh Green's representative, Gary Yamashiroya.
Good evening, Chair Augustine, members of the board. I have some sad news and I have some good news. The sad news is I'm moving on from Nānākuli. I'm actually going to be at Mo'ili Macaulay neighborhood boards from now on. I've been here for 2 years. It's been a great experience. I tell this to everybody about the Nānākuli neighborhood board. You are the most passionate people that care about your neighborhood, and that's admirable. So thank you for so much for allowing me to be a part of it and holding me accountable. Thank you. I'm specifically looking at Jermaine too. But it was a pleasure serving you here. And, but the good news is you're getting an upgrade. So believe it or not, Chair Sharon Hurd is going to be taking over the responsibility for the neighborhood board. And she's going to be sharing it with her deputy, Dean Matsukawa. And it's great because I know you have a lot of agriculture issues. So you couldn't ask for a better rep. So I'm going to turn the mic over to her and thank you again.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Representative Kila and Senator DeCoit. It is really an opportunity and a privilege to be addressing the West Side. I live in Makakilo, so this is, kind of where I am. What I did, the governor's report is always based a kind of touchy-feely. He's a very compassionate man. Right now, he's in Washington, D.C., testifying on behalf of the federal government and all the states on our health issues and representing us very well on those topics, as he is the only doctor who's a governor in the states. His issues have always been homelessness, housing, education, health. So he's represented you well. As far as following up on what the representative reported on with bills, I saw the Saucedos online earlier. That bill was a tough one. Thank you very much. You should thank your representative and senator for pushing it through. The House Bill 1249 was morphed with the other bill. I think it was Senate Bill 752 something, but what you ended up with in this bill is a really comprehensive 62-page ag crime bill. It encompasses enforcement, encompasses funding, and really emphasizes the importance of enforcement. As the prosecuting attorney said when she testified, you can raise the penalties to $1 million if you want. Without enforcement, the penalties don't mean anything. So now we have through this bill, we have 9 additional law enforcement agents dedicated to ag crime. And so this bill is very impactful. You can thank your legislators for bringing it to you. And the governor, I'm going to say that through the efforts of everyone, he should be signing it. It's a very impactful bill. For the West Side, it is from me and the Salcedos and everybody here, it emphasizes that trespassing is a crime. Trespassing is a crime, and if it's found to be, the trespasser is found to be guilty of trespass, which means you're not there invited by the landowner, you're not there to do a survey, you're not there for an invited purpose. The penalty for trespassing is minimum 3 days consecutive in jail and a minimum of $500. So trespassing will be enforced. Director Michael Lambert and Deputy Director Jared Radula are dedicated and committed to making sure that these types of crimes, and then of course from trespassing, you escalate it to the different kinds of crimes. So that bill was through the efforts of your legislators. But what I have here is I passed out the results of last year's legislation, which again, thank you to the legislators, was Act 231. That was the biosecurity bill that was signed by the governor. And part of that bill was a $1.2 million for CRB control and mitigation. So what you have here is the results of that bill. It's still ongoing, but take a look. Does everybody, I don't know if everybody had it. I made 30 copies, but what you have here is the number of trees surveyed on the west side. What we decided was, since the west side has an infestation of CRB, and what we're focusing on is public property. If you have private property and you have CRB, it's your responsibility to control it. There are certain, organic or chemical treatments you can use, whether you use your trees for food or whether you use your trees for landscaping. It's your private property. You can call the Department of Agriculture. We'll come out, we'll tell you what to do, we'll demonstrate what to do, we'll show you the chemicals you can use. Mostly for private though, it is with a CPO, a certified pesticide operator. What you have here is public areas that were treated with the funds from Act 231. And I don't know all these areas, but I'm sure you do. Trees surveyed for CRB damage in the city of County of Honolulu Park's Leeward District from Keau to Honokai. The park and the beach name are listed there, and the district and the number of coconut trees that they counted. So over there you see that, let's choose Kahe Point. And there was one tree that they counted there. So the total number of trees that they surveyed was 408 in the Leeward District. They identified the trees to be removed as diseased or infected by CRB, and they're actually dead. And now they're serving as host material for CRB. So the city is removing them. These are the trees that they're removing. There's 2.5 pages, or actually, if you look at it, about 2 pages worth of trees. What you have here is the district that they're located, the flag trees, the comments, and these are the trees basically that will be removed. So as you see the city and county workers and the state workers out there working, well, that's what they're doing. They're removing the diseased trees that have been identified by the Department of Agriculture plant quarantine staff as being dead, can't be saved. So there are 41 trees flagged in your neighborhood. The cost is about $3,000 per tree, depending on the size, if they're tall trees versus shorter trees. This does include the stump removal, because if you just cut the tree down, there's a little bit of a stump and it's a hazard to the public. So what they're doing is digging it up, filling it up with dirt. And so 41 trees that are diseased will be removed. So that's the CRB. And there was also money for LFA, Koki frog. We don't really have too many reports of Koki frog here, but we have a few. So our guys have been out, and they have what they call audio files where they put their cell phones, for instance, and record at night. And then when they check it in the morning, they can identify if there's Koki frog. So we're out there. We're using the funds that were given to us to help the West Side. If you have any kind of a suspicion that you have a problem, the top of your handout, to report a pest, please call the toll-free pest hotline. One of our staff picks it up at the department. You can email a photo or video to that email address. We'll get on it. So that's the basis of the report from the 5th floor. And the reason I'm so heavy on invasives is because I'm with the Department of Agriculture. But if you have a topic, let Representative Keela or Senator DeCourt know, and they will let the governor's office know, and it'll be either myself or Dean to report back to you. Happy to take questions.
Thank you. Any questions from the community for the governor's office? No. Please approach the mic, state your name.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I know you're not an expert, but Miley Beach Park has 87 cited. Miley community, nothing. Well, I think the reason why the community never reported anything is because they got rid of it. I take care of a property in Kalkamana, right across the street from Miley Beach Park. And the property has 2 houses, and the owners had a few landscapers previous to me doing their property. They were supposed to be taking care of the property, which they didn't. They had a palm tree that was infested with rhinoceros beetles. They weren't there by the time I got there. The palm tree was hollowed out. I cut the tree down. She had 3 banana patches. One of them had the CRBs in the roots of the bananas, which I found, and I destroyed them. And we ultimately called a fumigator to come in. He fumigated the whole house, the whole property, did the rest of the palm trees, found out the rest of the palm trees weren't infected, which is good. And this thing has me concerned because this property is on Kalkamana, right across the street from Miley Beach Park. I live St. John's. I found a live CRB in my property. It wasn't in any of my palm trees, but it was on the ground in my property, which I ultimately destroyed and got rid of. My concern is if they find 87 coconut trees infected at Miley Beach Park, Miley has a big problem with these CRBs invading Miley, from what I can read here. And also Pokai Bay, 53 trees were found. That is spooky.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up.
Oh, let me just respond to that. If you would give that information to the pest hotline, sounds like it's private property, right? Yeah, private property is different. We have to be not that we know, we can go there, but private property is a little tough. We have to be invited on or allowed on. Yeah, so, and we will get to these 87 trees and 53 trees. And if they're infected, we'll treat them, but mostly we're removing the dead trees right now.
Aloha, Valerie Manoa from Nānākuli Homestead, right above the cemetery. I'm a teacher at Kawaihona o Kana'awao, who works in the mala, in the garden. I am also a participant several years ago when there was a nonprofit organization that was working with CRBs and trying to prevent and educate the community. And I know it takes a lot to finance one tree. And yes, as your report said, it needs to be a public thing. But there was an organization out there trying to help and prevent. I'm trying to remember details, and I'm sorry, I'm not equipped with that. But it is. I'm just going to make a statement that it is too bad that we've gotten to a point beyond prevention. And it would have been good, whoever is involved in all of this, that organization who was trying to prevent and educate would have been supported at that time. Because I know they were at the point of running out of funds. And for us meaning our government, to step in at a point where we try to be the heroes, and now come in to clean up maybe what could have been prevented. I'm glad it's happening now, but it's kind of late. And I would just hope that when another invasive either plant or insect comes into the island, it is looked at immediately and not waiting until it's spread so far, right? When it's a physical ailment on your own body, you try to prevent it from spreading from in your body or to your family member. This has spread beyond our family member and our body. So this needs to be looked at very seriously. I know everybody's busy, but has to do with food, and it may get into other food. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions from the board? Board Member Tector, Shinsato, and Myers.
Hi, thank you for the report. In 2013, when this invasive species came to our islands via, I don't know where, but we noticed that there were your team that was hanging all these, trying to catch the bugs. We didn't realize how bad it was until like 3 years ago. So by the time you guys got your report, it was too late for us. So we lost 3 coconut trees. But, and thank you for the report for how much it costs to remove it. Is there any benefit package to replace it for others other than the Parks and Rec? Talking about the community, that's our food source. Also, there's a lot of cultural things that come out of that. I've also observed Hiko, whatever they've used, it hasn't touched their trees yet. So maybe it was okay for the coconut trees to get lost and we don't need it, but honestly, we did. So, but there's no way that we could recover and replace it unless we buy our own coconut trees. So again, is there any funds to replace these trees?
The replacement is ongoing with some nonprofits. They're not funded by the department, but there are like new now. They're growing different kinds of coconut trees. There's something called the Specialty Crop Block Grant Program that the department, we get $500,000 from the federal government, but to support specialty crops, of which coconut trees is. The difficulty with one of the things was we knew we had coconut rhinoceros beetle, and the legislature prior to this last year was not giving us funding to do that. The military was giving us funding, but it was for just to keep it on a wall, right? There's many things we could have done, but here's what I want to say. What you see here is funding for public spaces for landscaping, okay? There are treatments for food, for trees that are grown for food. The sensitivity with that is that the treatments, they're perfectly okay to use on coconut trees per the label. They're used on okra, tomatoes, strawberries. You can use this on food, but there is the sensitivity that you do not want to apply chemicals on the tree of life. That the people that rely on the coconut for food do not want to hear that you're using chemicals on their tree. Of course not. And yet the label says you can, it's legal. But the product, unfortunately, is called Mustang Max. It's kind of like it's called a restricted use pesticide. Only certified pesticide operators can use it. We can apply it as the department, but we've hesitated in we're putting together a news release, but we've hesitated because we know the feedback will be severe. The feedback will be, why are you using, why are you telling the public that there's a chemical treatment for a tree that we want to eat from, right? The landscape trees, we inject it, we take off all the flowers, we inject it, or we apply drone treatment, and it's very, very effective. We label the tree with yellow tape saying, do not eat the coconuts off this tree. It's been treated, it's marked. But if you have a residence and you have trees that you're growing in your private property, You were pretty much bereft of a treatment that was natural or organic. There is that treatment I talked about. It's fine, it's approved, it's legal. EPA says it's fine, but it is a chemical. So that's the difficulty we're having.
Board Member Shinsato.
Thank you, Chair. My question is there any research and data on the CRB in terms of not just coconut trees they attack, but other fruit trees?
I understand that once the coconut trees are no longer available, that they have been going after bananas and even breadfruit and sometimes kalo because they burrow, so they can get it that way. But if they continue to have a food source, it's too much work for the others, is what I understand. For a while there, of course, the breeding site is mulch piles, greenways. That's where they breed. And there is a treatment now approved for mulch piles. And it's just finished testing through the University of Hawaii. The department was working with CTAR at the university. So now we have a way to treat mulch piles. But to your point, mulch piles is the breeding site. Once they get out and they find something to eat, coconut trees are the easiest for them. That's their preferred. But once they don't have that anymore, like in Guam, like in places that have been totally decimated, they will go after whatever's available.
Yeah, I've seen them on mangoes and guavas. I mean, not just one, they come by groups, maybe 4 or 5, and they're actually on the fruit, eating the fruit on the tree.
Wow.
They're not even in mulch piles or anything. They're on the tree up high.
So
Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Myers. Board Member Myers.
Thank you, Chair. I had mentioned it during Rep. Kila's report, and I don't think you were in the room, but I'm not requesting for a verbal response tonight. I'm hoping that you could email our board for next month's meeting a response in writing. So I will send an email with the report that I'm questioning to Gary for him to forward to you, since we don't have your email address. But basically, the Kauhale project initiative that was told to us by the governor's office is that it was to create new units. So Kauhale monies was coming from the legislature to actually build new units for our homeless community. Mm-hmm. So my concern is that a report that came out in March identifies 2 projects that, just from viewing the report, number one is in our community. It identified that monies went towards the U.S. vet. However, the location of the project is Cedar Farm in Waianae Valley. That's a Cedar Farm in Waianae Valley currently already have units, well, sheds. But so my concern is it going to a current project, or are you really, investing in a new project? But US Vet is been a long time project in our community. So I'm confused about that as well. But I want to get it in Palapala. Is there a contract with that money that was on the report went to US Vet, or did it go to Cedar Farms? So that's my first request. Okay. The second request on that report is monies were identified to go to a House of Blessing in Waihewa, who's been a long time operating clean and sober home. Again, are you giving it to nonprofits running clean and sober homes that already provide beds to those incarcerated and come out and do clean and sober? Or are you creating new beds for our homeless community? So I would like to get the contract. So did you issue monies to House of Blessing, and why did you issue it to them? And so if we can have that in writing, sent to our chair of our board, and then she'll distribute it to our board members so that at next month's meeting, we'll have Palapala before you give the governor's report.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Ayo.
Back to the beetle. Oh, man. I have evidence of where the beetles come from. Miracle Grow. So I'm just making an announcement. even it might not be a commercial, but it's Miracle Grow. If you buy the Miracle Grow from wherever you buy it from, make sure you check out the bags. If you're putting it in your ground and mixing it with your soil, filter out the entire bag for the CRB. I found 8 in the bag that I bought from Home Depot. So I took a picture of the bag, I took a picture of all the beetles, and I sent it on to UH. Okay. Didn't get a response though, none, but I didn't matter because it already killed my tree. So we cut down a tree just a couple days ago, so I'm missing 2 coconut trees now. So, but just want to let you folks know, don't use Miracle Grow, but if you're going to use it, filter out the entire bag, make sure you got no worms in it and no beetles in it, and you'll be fine.
It could be any box, any compost that you buy from
Yeah.
any source. We're aware of that because they store it outside and the beetle can just bore. I mean, they just like nothing, just bore right through the bag and they lay there. Green waste compost is their favorite breeding site. So we go out there every week and we check their bags for holes. Now they are smarter. They're more educated. I shouldn't say smarter. They're more educated. And now they put their compost away at night.
Yeah.
So that the beetles don't come out and bore holes in there. So thank you. It's not only Miracle Grow, it's anybody that sells compost in bags. Okay.
Board Member Kong.
Can you hear me? Aloha. You're taking his place.
And I cannot take his place.
No, I think he's leaving.
Yeah.
You're going to come with the report from the governor? Welcome to Nānākuli. I don't care what he say about you, but you're the best. But tonight, I got two trustees here, state representative, state senator, the general and his major, the ranch, the committee for the Christmas on the Ave, and I got Hawaiian Homestead in here too. Welcome, everyone. We can proceed.
Mahalo. We have one more question online for the governor's office from the Salcedos. If you can go ahead and unmute.
I'm unmuted. Let's see what's happens here now.
Just stop.
Okay. Anyway, aloha, Sharon. Thank you for this valuable person just walked into the door and became our governor's rep. Gary, thank you so very much for all your efforts, and hate to see you go, but we actually have a strong advocate just walked in the doors and took your place. It's very technical, her knowledge in agriculture, so we have a lot of things because the west side is a large land of agriculture, and we just had a great asset that's walked into the door representing the governor. Her knowledge and advocating for Duke's Law, Senate Bill 1249, was strongly advocated by Ms. Sharon Hurd, Brian Miyamoto from the Farms Bureau, that help us to push this law through. But Sharon herself kind of cut through all the dictatorship by the other public defender's office and everything, but to streamline the language that this now Duke's Law is, it's going to be a work in progress effort for law enforcement. But again, Sharon, welcome on board. You are very valuable to us on the west side. I thank you so very much. Hang on a second, I have Kali over here.
Aloha. I just want to thank you, Sharon, for putting up with us at every committee meeting that we had attended in the state capitol. And I'm looking forward, and I'm proud to say 1249, now they have the tubes. It's the beginning, they have the tubes. And that will be less pressure on our HPD. You know, that they have to respond to a lot of different calls. So with the Department of Law Enforcement, they have the tools, and I'm looking forward to working with the law enforcement and you as the governor's rep. Mahalo again for putting up with us every time we showed up at the Capitol. Thank you for returning our calls and being there for us. Mahalo. And for Suzanne, she thank you folks very much. We spent it all day with her.
So we all burnt out right now. But our legislators, I got to thank you, Samantha DeCourt,
Yes.
Darius Keela, and Chris Morioka. This year, when they took office, there's no shootings on state lands. Thank God for once. Or city lands. They had to kind of minimize it. So our legislators, my hats goes off to you for being vigilant and keeping our district area of 96792 safe from any harm. But again, Sharon, welcome on board. It'll be a great gratitude and we're working with you.
You and Calais, you championed it through to the very end. So you deserve a lot of credit as well. Thank
We all
you.
did. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just add, I did tell you it's an upgrade. So, but thank you. Thank all of you. Thank the Salcidos for giving me a chance. And, you know, I think that I'm not going to be
Gary, we love you, Gary.
I'm not going to be this long.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Gary, and welcome aboard. We appreciate you. Take care. Next on the agenda, we have the Department of Hawaiian Homelands Representative Diamond Badajos. Not present in person or online. If I can entertain a motion to adjust our agenda to move our Army Representative Lieutenant Colonel Jason Cappies up on the agenda.
So moved.
Can I get a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
Tall people, they're short people. I'm just a normal size person. Madam Chair, board members, hello. Before I get started with some of my talking points, there were a couple of questions that were asked at the last board meeting that I just wanted to answer. The first one was some concerns about chemical releases for the prescribed burns that we were doing and the pesticides that might be available. So I just got a response from that. So all the prescribed burns we do, we coordinate and continue to work closely with the Hawaii Department of Clean Air branch before initiating those prescribed burns. The burns consist solely of grass and invasive vegetation for essential range maintenance and support endangered species. Regarding concerns about pesticides, currently the DPW Environmental Division is aware of past herbicide use, but currently only uses prescribed burns on Schofield Barracks for mitigating the vegetation and maintenance. We continue to work with the regulatory federal and state agencies to ensure our activities meet all environmental standards and pose no risk to the community, including my soldiers who lay down on those ranges and fire. The second one, there was a question from the board about possible Army scholarships for students pursuing environmental science. So currently, no, there's not any current Army scholarships. There's something called an REPI grant, a REPI grant, that can be used by nonprofits and other local government agencies for educational purposes. Otherwise, the Army Natural Resource section hosts 5 to 7 students every summer as summer interns, but those have to be high school graduates, usually working in a community college or going to school in a community college or a 4-year university. So those are my 2 responses. Now I'll get on to my talking points. So first one, unfortunately, this will be my last neighborhood board meeting. Seems to be a theme of most of us. Legislation is done. Gary's done. I'm done. I have also been replaced by a much improved model. So Lieutenant Colonel Ricky MacArthur, he'll be taking command. I'll be handing my colors over to him in early June. So this will be my last one and he will take over. So he will be your Army representative moving forward. But I wanted to have the spotlight for a couple more minutes. So I'm going to read the rest of my talking points. So training advisory. So we have some May training that's going on. Small arms ranges will occur for the remainder of the month. Aviation training occurs the rest of this week, and there's some mortar training on the 30th and 31st. If you have any concerns, you can contact the community concern line. That's 808-787-1528. The Army's birthday is coming up. It's the 250th birthday of the Army. We would like to invite the community to join our celebration on Thursday, June 12th at Fort DeRussy down in Honolulu from 12 to 3 p.m. There will be static displays of military vehicles, equipment, emerging technologies that we're using, along with a ton of soldiers on site to engage with and talk with. Even though I'm departing, we still love volunteer opportunities. So my phone number, which I'll share, is going to be Ricky's phone number as soon as you take over. I just ask that give us 30 to 60 days notice before we do that. We do a lot of stuff with the Nānākuli Elementary School. We've done 4 or 5 volunteer opportunities with them. We welcome those opportunities. Our soldiers love getting out with communities and getting their hands dirty and doing good things with the communities. So my phone number, which you can call me now for the next 2.5 weeks, or otherwise it'll be Ricky's phone number, is 808-673-3425. And please give us the opportunity to kind of serve in the community. Finally, the Oahu final environmental impact statement. We talked about this a lot. There were some public comments last year about this. So that's going to publish later this month for all of the Oahu lands here. KTA, Makua. So that assesses the environmental impacts of the proposed action alternatives or no action alternative. I won't rehash all that. That was what we talked about last year. Once the final EIS is published, there will be a 30-day waiting period followed by a record of decision later this summer. So that's all the talking points I have. The final thing I'll say is I was talking to Board Member Myers about this. So I've been stationed twice here in Hawaii. My daughter was born here and we came back 10 years later. So I feel very connected to the community. And I know the board is thanking a lot of us, but I just want to thank the board. Like, this is a very thankless position, sitting on the board, answering the community concerns. So round of applause for all the board members servicing the community. Pending any easy questions for me, we'll save the hard questions next month, or comments.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm James Coles, and I want to thank you for your dedicated service to the community out there, even though you're Army and not the real military, the Marine Corps. You could have done better when you went into the Marine Corps, but that's here or there. But I want to thank you for your time, for coming out, volunteering your time, coming out to the neighborhood boards. You did an awesome job, an outstanding job. Also, I want to say thank you to the Army Garrison. I know you're not part of it. I myself and among other community members have been fighting for years to get back Makua Valley. And I was very, very happy yesterday when I heard that the Army is not going to pursue another lease on that property. They're going to give it back to us. I'm hoping when we do get it back, I'm hoping that it is clean, that the Army will take care of all the ordinances that are in the valley to help clean it up, to make it useful for the Hawaiian people that have ancestral lands in there that belongs to them. I'm hoping that you can pass that on to the powers that be, even though it's Army. Powers that be, hopefully we can give it back to the Hawaiians that belong in that valley. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions from the community? Any questions from the board? Seeing none. Thank you so much for your time in serving with us. And if your replacement would like to say a few words.
No, I really appreciate the time and thank you, Jason, for inviting me here to come meet and greet with you. And I've just lived down the road and been here for 3 years, and we'll be here for another 2. And super excited to really get involved with the community and work with you all. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Welcome aboard. Next up, we have resident community concerns. If you have any concerns from the community, please approach the mic. No community concerns.
Thank you, board. My name is William Raposo, and I'm not really one for speaking in front of the mic, so let me apologize for the beginning. But we have issues with our ranch. DHHL has been over the years continuing to trying to weed us out. And so we own not own, but we leased the Nānākuli Ranch. And we've been trying to get a meeting with DHHL, but they have their own agenda. So my question was, I don't know how to approach DHHL if they won't have a meeting with us. The problem we have is they expect us to do, they call it pastoral lease, but we're on an ag lease, which I guess is the same thing. But problem is they expect us to do ranch, continue our ranch as a regular ranch with a month-to-month lease. They call it a revocable lease. I have partners who, in order to sustain a ranch, there's, like if we wanted to expand our herd, in order to expand our herd, we'd have to buy a bull. It takes 2 to 3 years just for that bull, for his offspring to produce its own offspring to expand our herd. There's no way that any of my partners is gonna put up money to buy a bull if we're on a month-to-month lease. So the problem we have is trying to have a meeting with DHHL, but I guess they have their own plans. I don't know what. We went to the Miley, I think it's a community center. But when I spoke, they never said anything about it. Calais, I think it's Calais Watson or Calais Young, none of them showed up for the DHHL meeting, so I don't know. I figure I'll bring it here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have one person online, Margarita Alchu. Go ahead and unmute.
Mahalo, Madam Chair. I'm Margarita Alochu. I'm speaking as a community member. I wanted to bring up some concerns regarding the Nānākuli High and Intermediate Schools accreditation and future. As a growing concern is emerging at Nānākuli High and Intermediate School regarding our school's future, especially in light of the new accreditation process. We were granted accreditation this year after a one-year window to address significant deficiencies. There is still no clarity for faculty or community members about whether the critical concerns identified last year had been effectively addressed. As of now, we, the community, have not seen a detailed report outlining those deficiencies or how they were to be resolved. I can affirm that many of our original issues remain unresolved, like communication continues to be inconsistent and unclear across all levels. Collaboration with the community and throughout all groups like PTSA, Community School Hui, and the SCC are struggling despite our school's location in a deeply rooted Native Hawaiian community. Systems of accountability and transparency are either not in place or not documented, with accessibility continuing a long-standing culture of dysfunction. This is not just a school-level problem. It is a systemic issue rooted in the Department of Education's long history of neglect and underfunding in communities like Nānākuli. NHIS serves the largest Native Hawaiian student population in the world, yet we receive disproportionately low resources and support. The instability in leadership since the 1980s have only compounded these challenges, leaving staff and students without consistent direction or advocacy. Some are concerns of the current push to exit NHIS from decades-long CSI and MRI status, which may be a part of a broader plan to position the school for closure or conversion, especially given the state's interest in consolidating or repurposing underperforming schools. Such actions without meaningful community involvement and support amount to modern-day colonization and cultural erasure. This is a community solution available. Leadership from Kawaihona Okinawa All Public Charter School has expressed a willingness to collaborate with the NHIS to strengthen our systems and restore trust. Unfortunately, efforts to engage in this partnership have been obstructed by internal resistance and misinformation from NHIS leadership. Therefore, I'd like to call an immediate independent, maybe audit or evaluation of the current administrative practices, communication systems, and use of funds, transparency from the HIDOE and accreditation bodies regarding findings and criteria for continued accreditation, protection for NHIS as a cultural and educational institution serving a majority of Native Hawaiian population, a facilitation of formal partnerships with other schools in the Ahupua'a like Kawaihona Okinawa or PCS to strengthen community engagement, cultural alignment, and school improvement, a legislative oversight to ensure that decisions about the future of NHIS are made with and not for the Nānākuli community. We're not just fighting for our school, we are fighting for a community, a culture, and a future for Native Hawaiian keiki who deserve the same quality of education and support as any other child in Hawaii. The question is, what can this board do to help protect and unify the future of our educational institutions in Nānākuli? Mahalo.
Mahalo. And towards the end of our agenda, we will go over our committees, and if I can have you refer to our education committee. Thank you. Any other community concerns? Seeing none. Next up on our agenda, we have presentations. In the room with us, we have the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, who are going to be doing an introduction of engagement, Mana'i Maoli, and OLA strategic plan, brief budget. With us, we have Trustee Akaka, Trustee Akina, and Lisi.
Aloha no, aloha pumehana. Oh, mahalo. Thank you for coming. Aloha no, and mahalo for the warm welcome to our Nānākuli Ma'ili Neighborhood Board Chair and to the board members. And aloha no also to our elected officials. Mahalo for sharing all that, what you're doing, and to former elected officials as well, and to the government officials this evening. And mahalo to also to the Nānākuli Ma'ili community for welcoming us online and in person. I wanted to do some brief introductions as well. I'm Kalea Kaka. I'm honored to serve as your Oha Oahu trustee. And also joining us this evening, we have a group from the Office Point Affairs. So I want to give this time also for my colleague and fellow trustee to introduce himself.
Thank you, Trustee Akaka, and aloha. Aloha. Just glad to be back here again with you. So wonderful to be out here during the Kuhio Day celebration. You did a great job. I'm Keli'i Akina, Trustee at Large in the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, and I'll share with you a little more later on. But Trustee Kalei, would you share with us some of our staff who are with us?
Absolutely, mahalo, Trustee Akina. So I wanted to have Lisa introduce herself and what her role is at the Office of Hawaiian Affairs.
Aloha kako. Aloha.
Lisa Von Sakona, I'm the Director of Community Engagement. Mahalo for having us.
Mahalo. Also joining us this evening, we have two members of the Akaka team at the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. We have Mark Watanabe as well as Nathan Takeuchi. So mahalo again for welcoming the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. I just wanted to touch on some brief history on the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. We were created in 1978 with the mission which remains the same, which is to better the conditions of our Hawaiian people. And this also is in alignment with our strategic plan. We have 4 strategic directions, our pillars, which are economic resiliency, education, health, and housing. I also wanted to share with you all some of the mail, the informational mail that we brought this evening. So starting off, we have here our Kawai Ola. This is the latest issue. It's an award-winning publication, and this latest issue is regarding climate change. Our second piece that we have this evening is the Office of Hawaiian Affairs annual report. So this is the latest one that we published. And then we also have this pamphlet here. It's called What OHA Does. So it talks about the beginnings, the genesis, why we're created, and some of the many things that we do. And also we have this wonderful coloring book created for the keiki that was created in-house, a part of the Olaka'i program that we were part of, and it's called Owai o Oha. So this was written beautifully, Maka'olelo Makuhine, in our mother tongue. And yes, and also, yeah, I see here we have a board member with our Kawai Ola fan, modeling it so beautifully, mahalo nui. Yes, we got the Kawai Ola fan here. And I also want to share pieces of information that we have. We have, I wanted to share with you all because like many other entities, we are hiring. And if you know anyone, or if you are that someone that is qualified for these positions to serve our Native Hawaiian community, we also have a signing bonus of $5,000. So if you would like to take one of these as well and share this with your ohana and your friends, your community. One other thing as well, we have our Hawaiian Registry Program. So this is an opportunity for Hawaiian people to be able to sign up and register and to receive your card to show your status as a Native Hawaiian. And we are also in constant discussion on how we can maximize the ability for those that have these cards and how they can be used. So for instance, going to the national parks and so forth to have access. So I also wanted to leave some time for our trustee Akina to share with you some more information on the Office of Hawaiian Affairs and some of the work that we do and how we're formed with the various committees.
Thank you, Trustee Akaka. And board members, you just work so hard and do such a wonderful job. And I just appreciate you. We would love for you or any of the members of the community to come out to the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. And you're welcome at our meetings. They're open, they're broadcast on the internet. You can see them live, or you can participate on the first and third weeks of the month. We have our work done in basically 3 committees and then all together as a general board meeting. One committee is about budget and finance. Another committee is about land and investments. Another committee is about beneficiary advocacy, fighting for your rights, as well as empowering you with grants. And there's one thing I'd like to share. Trustee Akaka told you about this little card, the Hawaiian Registry, for those who have Hawaiian blood, which is virtually everyone in Nānākuli or in your household. We want to empower you with the ability to use financial capital to improve your lives, because we really need to build together. We mustn't be dependent. We have to build our independence. So we have a Malama loan program, which means if you're in trouble and you need to consolidate debt, you could borrow. Or if you're trying to help Keiki to go to college, you can borrow. Or if you want to improve your home, we have a fund for up to $100,000 for home improvements. But then if you have a business, you could borrow up to 150,000, or if you have a business that's been going well and for several years, you need up to $1 million in capital. We have started that program. But what I'm very proud of is our Mahi'ai farming agriculture program. We're trying to encourage people to build their farms, get some capital, become more competitive. That's the way that we can be independent. Thank you so much. Your mana'o means a lot to us. We'd love to hear from you. And there is one person here that gives your community a great distinctive. She is the one OHA beneficiary who attends more meetings than anyone else, who testifies in front of the board of OHA more than anyone else, who is a constant fixture. She could be considered the 10th trustee unofficially. We're so proud of her. Jermaine Myers. Jermaine, aloha. Sorry. Aloha, mahalo. If there's anything we can do for you, just let us know.
Mahalo. And just to add to what Trustee Aquino was sharing regarding our meetings. So Jermaine Myers is a constant attendee and testifier. And you can find us on oha.org/live stream. So you can tune in virtually or join us in person at our Nānākuli boardroom, which is the former Gentry Pacific Design Center building. And before I bring on Lisa to share more about the Office of Hawaiian Affairs and what we're doing currently, I also wanted to share some of how we get our funding and our creation. So part of the work that we do is regarding advocacy, and that's also covered in the committee, which is beneficiary advocacy and empowerment. Some of the fundings that we get is from the state, and these are regarding our Native Hawaiian Crown and government lands of our Hawaiian Kingdom. So we are constitutionally mandated to receive 20% of the funds and revenues, the proceeds from that. However, in our due diligence, we found that we're getting closer to about 3 to 4, maybe 5% of that. And what we found in our due diligence is that it's on an honor system. So those entities, various entities that are on these lands are putting into it what they believe they should. And so what that translates to is the state is not receiving the funds that they should be, and therefore the Native Hawaiian people are not receiving the funds that we should as well. So that is part of the advocacy that we're doing. And I want to mahalo the board for providing this opportunity for us to do what you are doing, to be able to be here with the community and to know what the needs and concerns are and how we can best collaborate and work together. Mahalo. So I'll ask Lisa to just share more on what OHA is doing.
Did we lose Jeffrey? Did we lose Brado? Because
I'm so sorry. He had to step away for an emergency. Okay. Trying to share screen to get your presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, while we're waiting for that, in line with trustees were sharing with regards to financial support that's coming through OHA, I'm happy to announce that earlier this week, in partnership with Hawaiian Community Assets, 1.6 million is going towards emergency financial assistance. This funds is a one-time use for our Native Hawaiian ohana, but it also provides counseling services and wraparound services to help our lahui to learn and grow with long-term financial stability. So that just came out, so please reach out. Again, this is Hawaii Community Assets is the one. It's called Kukulu Kahua, EFA. Yeah. Any luck?
I apologize. It's
No, not to worry. Well, actually, what we're just going to talk about also, and again, a lot of the information we're sharing is available at oha.org, also on our social media platforms as well. Please look into those. We just wanted to let you guys know that recently, earlier this month, actually, oh, Kalamai, is that my timer?
No.
Oh, okay. Earlier this month, we did our budget reports. We had community meetings to invite community members to give input on our budget reports. What we were going to show was the slides from part of that meeting to share with you all. but that's okay. If it cannot come up, that's no problem. The whole presentation is available online. So again, oha.org, everything we're talking about here, you can also find there as well. Okay, mahalo. And we're open for any questions if you may have.
Any manao, ninao?
Okay, thank you so much, Oha, for your presentation. Any questions from the community? Any questions from the board? Board Member Tector?
Thank you
Board
for your
Member Meyer.
presentation.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
I just have a lot of questions, but just one tonight. So, for example, if I'm needing a home improvement loan, is that a grant or is that something I would have to pay back? And do you require income or is it everything online?
Well, that's a good question. It's part of our Malama loan program. It's not a grant. It is a loan, but it offers an interest rate that is lower than what most people would get at a bank. And we consider our loan program to be the loan program of last resort for Native Hawaiians who may have not been able to get loans elsewhere. So we'll do everything we can to help someone qualify. One of the things we're very proud about is that in the past several years in which the program has been operating, the vast majority of borrowers have paid back. And that's how come OHA was able to start it with just $2 million in investment at the beginning without putting any more in. And now it loans out over $8 to $10 million because people are able to pay it back. Thank you for asking. And you can get all the information at oha.org. Thank you for asking. Call us if we can help you.
My turn.
Thank
I
you.
don't know if I met you at,
Here's our we have our presentation if you wanted to go through any of the items there. Board Member Kong, go ahead.
so it was to do with, you folks are opening an office here with the Department of Hawaiian Homelands right here in the mall. There's some empty space. Yes. Maybe you guys should open an office right there with all.
Oh, mahalo for that thought. Something to consider. We are open to partnerships with our sister agencies and what can make sense. But in the meanwhile, we do have our headquarters, our office space, which is at
You can be
Nānākuli.
right here in the valley.
Yeah.
They say we got the most Hawaiians in the world lives here.
Well,
The
you know,
first part, all Hawaiians for that. Gary.
well, thank you for mentioning that. I want to make note to say mahalo again to the Nānākuli Ma'ili Neighborhood Board for welcoming us through the years and being able to share what we've been doing at the legislature within the community and providing this opportunity for us to share with you. As we're going to various neighborhood community boards throughout the Oahu Island, many have shared that they're interested in wanting to see us pretty often. So we're looking at how we can do this, whether it's quarterly or monthly, really looking at how we can do this sustainably, whether it's virtual or in person. But we welcome you to join us, as Trustee Akina had said, in our boardroom. We have community concerns. And if you have any questions, you can ask your fellow board member, Jermaine Myers, how that works. You can do it virtually or in person, but that's an opportunity for you to share what's happening specifically in your community or what you're concerned about regarding Native Hawaiians, regarding Aina, Ea, our surrounding waters and so forth. And
Oh, that's just mashed potato.
And part of what we do is also advocating and protecting our rights and stewarding our lands and waters and our culture. Mahalo.
Mahalo.
Mahalo. Board Member Myers.
Thank you, Chair. Lisa, my question is for you. So earlier you were sharing about the emergency relief grant. So I know it wasn't available last year, but I'm glad to hear that Hawaii Community Access is going to be distributing it.
Yes.
But I think our community needs to know if, number one, income qualification. Number two, how much money are you guys going to give? Because I remember one year it was 1,500, another year was 2,000, 2,500 for a previous year. So what is the maximum dollar value? And then the third question is, Okay. Oh, recall that the last time you could use it like, say, a one-time payment directly to your landlord if you're behind on rent, if you're behind on utilities, or funeral to pay for a funeral expense. So income qualification, what are the criterias that they could use it? And I know it's direct to the person or the funeral parlor, but also the amount. Thank you.
I don't have those particulars, but we will get them for you. And to whom should we send them? To the chair or to you?
Send it to Sharon, then she'll send it to us.
Okay, so
But I think-
Lisa,
and then
we'll do
next
that.
month We'll announce it to the community, but
We would love the help to communicate that.
my concern is that our community should just go to Hawaii Community Assets, right? To get more information.
That's right.
The amount, the qualification. Yeah, because there's only so much money, right?
Absolutely. In fact,
Yeah.
do it as fast as you can.
First come, first serve.
Hawaii Community Assets. But Chair Augustin,
Thank
we'll send you the information that you
Thank
can
you.
distribute to the other board members. Thank you.
Thank you. So I have a question in terms of adding you folks to our agenda as a line item, standing line item, in the similar form that our elected officials and our military come to present. If we can add OHA to have a representative provide us an update, a 3-minute update monthly. That way our community, especially being that we're the largest Native Hawaiian community, will stay informed and be able to engage with OHA and the benefits that you folks offer.
Mahalo for the opportunity. I think that gives way for us to be able to share maybe some announcements on what's happening at the Office of Hawaiian Affairs that might be of interest to you all, and have opportunity to ask us any ninau or mana'o that you feel we could be a part of and kako'o with. Mahalo nui.
Mahalo. Is there anything in particular from the presentation that you wanted to include now that we have the visual?
I think we covered a lot of it so far. But if you have any specific questions on what is on there, we'd be happy to.
Okay. Thank you.
As trustee shared earlier, we actually are looking for people to work at the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. People who have a real heart for the Hawaiian people and want to do something for the community. If you or you know anyone, there are competitive salaries. We've just gone through a process of doing everything we can to increase salaries for people who work there, and benefits, as well as opportunities for growth. And of course, as trustee mentioned, there are also some signing bonuses. Just go to our website. We want good people to serve the Hawaiian community. Aloha.
Mahalo nui for your time. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Aloha. Next on our agenda, we have the Christmas on the Avenue and Blue Light Christmas presentation.
Good evening. Thank you for having us, board. We do have a presentation available. Okay, let's just start off with our, oh, there it is. Okay, if you guys want to follow us along as we present our Christmas on the Ave and our 95-year legacy. So my name is Trisha Palinapa.
Good evening. My name is Alana Mohoy.
And I'm Pawahileo Iki. And the three of us is the new co-chairs for Christmas on the Ave 2025. I would like to introduce the theme for this year, Pupu Kahi'i Holomua, to unify and move forward as one. We came up with this idea of our theme because we wanted to bring back unity in our community. By bringing back the community and unity, we also have our event history that we have presented in our slide. So by the numbers, starting in 2022, we have brought 8,000 attendees during our 5 hours of duration of the time that we have this event. We had it in 3 blocks on Nānākuli Avenue, about 100 vendors and 2 stages. That year, we did 1,000 gifts with Blue Light Christmas. In 2023, 6 hours, 10,000 attendees, 3 blocks, vendors about 111, 2 stages, and about 2,000 gifts. 2024, last year, we had only 2 blocks, 6 hours, 10,000 plus attendees, 80 vendors, 1 stage, and about 2,024 gifts given that night. I would like to turn it over to Alana Mahoy to go over the economic development area.
Okay, so 2025 event key details. We have 1 resident letter of support left in our community. That was 41 residents. We went door to door. We spoke, we talked to them, we found out how they felt about our event and if they wanted to continue to support our event. So with just 1 more signature, we'll move on to the next step with our event. Another thing is we already have DHHL letter of support. They are willing to support our event for this year. We have 105 areas for safety equipment, 81 vendors, and 6 food trucks that will be available for the community to come out and to apply. We will have 2 entertainment stages, which will have 12 groups total. Majority of that entertainment will come from the community. And then we will also have community seatings at both entrances of the event, so which is on Mono, 3rd Road, and 6th Road. Those tables will be available for eating and enjoyment. And then this year, we're also offering parking at NHIS. We're also in the talks of utilizing Nānākuli as parking as well, and we will offer shuttles to and from the event.
Thank you, board, so much for having us. We are honored to be here as a new board for Christmas on the Ave. Thanks to our former chairs before, and they were able to step down. They get to enjoy their retirement and leave it to the next generation to step in. One thing about Christmas on the Ave is that it launched a community study to identify the original families, and the 95th celebration is really something to honor the community, where it started, who were the first families. And this initiative aims to foster deep community ties and create searchable database for residents to trace their ancestries. One thing that we're going to do different to this event is it's been a great event, and we've had no incidents in all 3 years. But we're going to take the foundation that was left by the committee before, and we're just going to continue to build upon that. One thing that we're implementing is cultural groups. So we're going to invite Kavaihona and another school to come out, and we want them to showcase what their school is really about. What is it that the children love about the school? What is it that they're giving to their children? We want them to showcase who they are. Another thing that we want to do is we want to be intentional about inviting Native Hawaiian support organizations. Organizations like OHA, CNHA, Alulike, In Peace, DHHL. A lot of our people in the community do not know what's available to them and how to access these different resources. It's very important that as a community that we come together so that we can provide these things to our people that live in the Nānākuli Valley. Another thing that we're going to do different this year is we're going to give our mahalo to our residents who signed the letter of support, because without them, we cannot have this event. There's 41 homes that we block off during that time. And what we're doing is we're going to offer them early registration, which means that they're going to be the first people to basically know what's going on, but also they're going to be able to register as a vendor if they choose that this is something that they want to do. Once we open up that 1 week, then we're going to close it down and then we're going to open it up to the general public to register. Things also that we noticed is after reviewing some of the videos from Christmas on the Ave, we noticed that although we did have lighting, it wasn't enough lighting for the people who were in the event. So we are increasing the lightings. Our best to make this event a safe and caring event for all of it. We're very excited to continue our partnership with Operation Blue Light, our HPD's District 8 team, as well as new organizations that are coming in, like Lyric Kaika New Club, Nānākuli High School. Many of you on the board have joined us last year and the previous years, and we thank you so much for your commitment. We can continue to use you guys who have helped us make our event a success by volunteering in different areas. But that's what we have, and we hope that you guys will continue to support Christmas on the Ave for 2025. And if you guys have any questions for us.
Thank you so much. Any questions from the community for the Christmas on the Avenue? Any online? Any questions from the board? Seeing none. So go ahead, Board Member Myers.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to mahalo Charlita Mahoy and Auntie Carol Pelekai, and also Black Ho'ohuli, and to put these events, that two events together. So, Chair, on May 7th, your Transportation Committee had full and free discussions. We unanimously voted in support of the Christmas on the Avenue and Operation Blue Light Christmas. Thank you for the presentation, and they've shown us that they have addressed all the issues that our committee members were interested in finding out about the details. And so, board members, I move that the Nānākuli Maili Neighborhood Board support the 2025 Christmas on the Avenue and Operation Blue Light Christmas organized by the Ahupua'a o Nānākuli Association and the Nanaikapono Protestant Church.
Thank you. Moved by Jermaine Myers. Seconded by Paul Ayo. Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries. We are in support for the Christmas on the Avenue 2025. Mahalo nui. So we will provide an official letter for you folks to have as well to be able to provide to your officials. Thank you so much for your presentation. And I appreciate that you folks are calling in the next generation. So mahalo nui. Okay, next on the agenda, we have our representative for Mayor Rick Blangiardi, Ted Hayden, online.
Hello, and good evening, Madam Chair and board members. Thank you for having me. Sorry I couldn't be there in person tonight, but I'll try and get through this fairly quickly. Really quickly for the highlights for the mayor's newsletter. So if you want additional details, please feel free to take a look at that. But for the highlights, the city and state is looking to recruit additional guardian ad litems to help with assisted community treatment programs on Oahu for our homeless community. Mayor Blangiardi signed a bill into law on Waikiki street festivals and the outdoor dining rules. Recreational fishing has returned to Ho'omalahia Botanical Gardens. That's a really great activity for the entire family to go out and do. It's really fun for the kids to go out and do some fishing out there in the big lake. Okay. We also unveiled a massive new solar canopy over the Blaisdell to celebrate Earth Day, as well as details for the first Malama Aina Day at Kahuku Point on the North Shore. So take a look if you want to see some additional details. Being from Parks and Recreation, I just wanted to do a quick shout out to the Summer Fun program. So if you have any keiki, we are doing registrations now for our Summer Fun programs. You can go on our website under the activities section to sign up for the Summer Fun program. If you're not sure which parks have Summer Fun programs, there's also an interactive map on our website that you can take a look at for that. Additionally, with that, we are looking for part-time summer aides to help out with the Summer Fun program. So if you have young people who are interested in a fun summer job to hang out with kids all day long, please have a look at our website and see if they'd be interested in becoming a summer aide. Okay, moving on to some of the questions that came up from last month's meeting. So the first one regarding the dust from the quarry on Pa'akea Road. So the concern about the dust control measures should actually be referred to the State Department of Health Clean Air Branch. So that's not actually something that the city can work on. And the second question regarding the traffic intersection at Pi'ilokahi Avenue and Pohaku Nui. So the request that signs to be added. So that intersection actually falls under the jurisdiction of the State Department of Hawaiian Homelands. So they would be the ones that would need to add the signs. The city only maintains the roadways and can't install new traffic signs there. So that is it from the questions for last time. I'm available for additional questions if anybody has any.
Halamai. Any questions from the community for the mayor's office? Seeing none. Board Member Myers, any other questions from the board?
Thank you, Mayor's Rep. My question has to do with, I saw that the mayor had a town hall in Kaneohe at Castle High School, and he responded to one of the community members about the Waimanalo Gulch Part 2, where he's gonna make the city is going to build the next landfill. So first of all, the mayor has made a promise to our community, and I appreciate it, that he will not do Waimanalo Gulch Part 2 along the Waianae Coast. Even though two properties were cited in our moku, Waianae moku, my concern is that the mayor told the community in Kaneohe that because this past legislature, they had made even more restrictions on the city on where you can actually put the landfill, the next landfill. What he had shared with Kaneohe is that he is now looking, or the city is now looking at, mayor is now looking at ENV is now looking at extending Waimanalo Gauch past 2028. So in other words, go further into Waimanalo Gauch to add on another 10 or so years to Waimanalo Gauch, because you cannot find a land in order to build the next landfill and close down Waimanalo Gauch by 2028. So what I'm asking the mayor is that in 2028, he's going to end his term. And so he's the one that promised our community. So what I'm asking is that the mayor, if he can work with the city council on passing an ordinance that declares that all future mayors and city council members that get elected after he leaves office will not build another landfill in our community after Waimanalo Gauch expires out, further into the Gauch. So is that possible for you to come back next month and give us a report on the mayor's response to our request? Because of the fact that he's told the community in Kaneohe that he's not going to close down Waimanalo Gauch in 2028, but extend the life of it for another 10 or so years. Is that okay?
Yeah, we can definitely follow up on that. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, they did pass that we can't place any new landfills over the aquifer, which again significantly reduces the number of locations that we are able to do. So we are going to have to go back and see, what is actually possible again. But yeah, we will definitely report back to you next month on that.
Thank you. And I just wanted to let you know that our senator, out of the 25 senators, she's the only senator that voted no to that restrictions that, shut down Waimanalo Gauch from, having a part 2. So just wanted to let you know,
Yeah.
Senator DeCourt had voted to support the city's efforts to move it to another community. Thank you.
Board Member Shinsato.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to stay in line with Board Member Jermaine Myers' thinking. Back in 2012, the city did a study on the best place to put a landfill. And on that list, 3 were in our area, but it wasn't in the top 5. The first on the list was Kapaa Quarry. And the reason Kapaa Quarry was first on the list is because it's a quarry and it has bedrock. So seepage through bedrock is, I'm not going to say impossible, but it holds up better. But because the chair of the city council, Ikaika Anderson, it was his area, he says, oh no, we got to do a report again. And after they did another report, 3 of the landfills that was in our area wasn't in the top 5. 3 of them made it in the top 5. I just don't understand that reasoning. I mean, if we go back to that report, I mean, Kapaa Quarry is not even a residential area. It's off the beaten path. And from an engineering standpoint, it provides the best safety. So I'm not even sure why we're not revisiting that area, is my question. Thank you.
Sure. Unfortunately, I'm not an expert in this area. From what I recall, the reason for not doing Kapaa Quarry, I think, had to do with the challenge of getting water out of the quarry, because like you said, that bedrock, it just holds all of it in there. So there was some issue with that, but I could easily be wrong on that. So we will make sure to check and get you the correct answer.
Thank you. Any further questions from the board for the mayor? Seeing none. Thank you, Ted. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, everybody.
Next on the agenda, we have Councilmember Andrea Tupola.
Hello,
It's Kika.
Hi, Kika. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Chair, board members. I'm so sorry. I actually am on the side of the road. I was on my way back home, but I'm gonna do a report. We don't have any reports right now to report, but I'm open for questions.
Any questions for Councilmember Tupola's representative from the community? Any questions from the board? Board Member Tector?
Hi,
Board Member
Kiko.
Meyer?
Well, I just want to give a shout out to Paula and her team for the sweep. Missed the beach cleanup on the 10th. However, when the homeless are, I guess, transferred to another beach, what happens then, you know? We're not solving a lot, but good news is the cleanup was done. The tough news is we're shuffling them beach to beach. It is a challenge. We got to get them in facilities somehow. So thank you.
Sorry, could I answer that real quick?
Yes.
Thank you for that concern. I think that concern is very valid, especially for us. We do have the R3 program. Even when we don't have it, we still continue with each of the houseless there. We keep their name, information, pictures. We stay with them. Today, we actually took them to Kaala Farms. We try to actually help them mentally. And even with the drug abuses, we try to connect them with people. The drug abuse is a very, very key part of why they're still there. A lot of the people that we did take off the beach, they decided to go back to their families or take shelter. But who is still there is some new people that we haven't seen there before, that came from maybe Makaha side or town side, but they're there for a little, and we're trying to get them out and into other areas as in shelter purposes. But the drug use there is very heavy, and we kind of pivot in another way to heal people in a different way. So today we took some of them up at Kaala Farm to get away from the area there. So we're working in another type of environment for them.
Thank you, Kika. Board Member Myers?
Thank you, Chair. Kika, Councilmember Tupola has had her annual homeless forum. Previous years, she's had it in Kaneohe. Another year, she's had it at the Kroc Center. Now it's even getting closer to us in Nānākuli by having it at Kapolei. Can you please send our board members the information about it so that we can sign up for it? Is it this Thursday or tomorrow?
Yeah, all the board members should have got an email, but yes, it's tomorrow at the Dream House Kapolei.
Okay.
Near the Hale. But I'll make sure our team sends that and confirms with everyone, but it's tomorrow at 4:30.
Okay, can you send the details to our chair so that she can send it out to us tonight for those on the housing committee or any other committee that wants to attend to help to be at the table to come up with homeless housing solutions?
Correct. Okay, sounds good.
Sources, mahalo.
I have that. I will send it out. Thank you, Kika. Next on the agenda, we have Navy Representative Jewel Felipe.
Can you guys all hear me? Whoever's still left for tonight?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, all right. And I sent you guys the slides. Not sure if you guys were able to receive that.
Yes, we're getting it shared right now.
Okay, okay. All right, let's see. Uh-oh. Oh, there, it was there. I saw it for a few seconds. There we go. So, just as the Army representative Jason, he started off with the questions from last month, and so will I. The first question from the community was, why are we not allowed to hunt at Lu'ulu'ule? And within that question, the community that did pose this question, they did mention 9/11, and that's actually the main reason why the hunting has stopped. Ever since 9/11, global security measures were reinforced all over the world, and this included the Lu'ulu'ule as well as the hunting policy. And in addition to that, when things cleared up a bit, there's a position and it's called a game warden. I learned that recently. And apparently, this game warden position has been vacant for a very long time because one, it's a lack of qualifications because there's a certain certification that you need to be considered a game warden. And then two, there's also it's low pay. So it's like finding someone who's qualified, but also finding someone who's willing to get paid at a low amount, especially with the expensive cost to live in Hawaii, and then also with the federal hiring freeze too. So that also poses an issue about the game warden being vacant for a while. And even till this day, there's additional federal government has been facing ongoing budgeting cuts. And I know just a few weeks ago, I actually had to say goodbye to a few of my fellow coworkers. So it is an ongoing issue with the federal government on these budget cuts affecting the reductions in staff. So that is the main reason why no hunting at Lu'ulu'ule at the moment. And then before I begin, are there any questions before I move on to the next one?
Seeing none.
Okay. And I know board member Myers asked this second question is, are there live unexploded ordnance at Lu'ulu'ule? So I asked around, I got confirmation there is no indication of any of these ordnance at all, but Lu'ulu'ule is an active ammunition storage facility. It's if you Google it, it also says it there. The public is not at risk because all of the bunkers that hold the ammunition, they have blast arcs, and in an unlikely event, which most likely it's not, but if it does, even if the blast were to occur, nothing would go outside of the fence line. So everyone in the public and everyone outside of the fence is fairly safe. So any questions on that?
Seeing none.
Okay, moving on.
Sorry. Board member Myers.
Oh, there we go.
She's actually, is that, oh, no, thank you for the response. I'll continue to listen to your report.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. So this one, I'm really happy to mention May 9th. This is actually the first time that we brought keiki students all the way to the heiau. So we had Waianae as well as Nānākuli high schools for this educational workday. So the primary focus was to provide these students an educational experience to deepen their understanding of Hawaiian culture and involve their efforts in preserving the sacred site. I do want to say a huge mahalo to everyone that was included in it. A bunch of key community attendees were Auntie Lynette Cruz, Auntie Lena Suzuki. I'm sorry if I say her last name incorrect. Uncle Bill Isla, as well as Uncle Sparky. You can see Uncle Sparky sitting right there in his light blue shirt. All the other aunties, they never go in the picture, but it's all right. And then, we have Uncle Bill in his bright construction, yellow shirt over there. And again, huge thing to Pola's team, Kika and Mika. They also helped us get the green waste bins. And so it was like the fastest that we've ever got done. As you can see, we cleared out the grass. We also cleared out the trees. And this is actually the most people we ever brought. So it was a really great experience. I know many of these students, they already graduated or they are going to graduate. I think they told me they could only do May 9th because the following week, it was their last week of school. So majority of those people that, the students that went were seniors. Moving forward, please. All right. So again, still sticking to the heiau. Our next one is Friday, May 30th, but this is more of just a cultural visit. It's not going to be a work day because since we did so much on May 9th, there's actually not much to do when we go May 30th. So I know a lot of times Auntie Lynette and Uncle Sparky and then Uncle Bill, they always like to come out. And then I know Uncle James came out, I think it was March 28th. So anyone is invited, just let me know if you guys are willing to. And if you guys want to, if we move on to the next slide, if you do want to join us. So again, I keep sharing this every single meeting, but in red, if you want to join us, if you want to go to Lualuale, the red text jbphhcomrel@us.navy.mil. So at least just send an email and say you're interested in going out to Lualuale, and then we'll be able to bring you guys out there. But again, May 30th, that's our next one. That's a Friday. So be sure to hit us up, and then we'll make sure to put you on the list, and you can hang out with us for the hour or so to pay your respects to the heiau. And then next slide, please. And look, Uncle Vic is not gone. Well, he is kind of, but he was so excited to text me this, and he said that last week, the city and county, especially council member Andrea Tupola, honored him. From her Instagram, she said, from opening Kolikoli Pass to safeguarding watersheds, wildfire prevention, and the Farrington bypass, Victor leads with action, not titles. Our coast is safer and stronger because of him. And again, this was from her Instagram, that quote. And then these pictures were texted to me from Uncle Vic. He was so happy and he was so blessed. And he can't believe that even though he retired, he's still receiving so much love from all you guys. And he says, thank you so much. And he even told me that the quote on the bottom, he said, Navy continues to work with our city and state partners to make things better for all. So he just wants to say thank you guys all for being there, even though he's still not working for the Navy, but to think that you guys still recognize him. And that's all I have for now. And then I know I saw Auntie Carol earlier, so they'll also say thank you for that, for honoring him and his family.
Thank you so much, Jules. It's so nice to see that Victor Flint was also recognized by Councilmember Tupola. We really appreciate the work that he's done for the community. Any questions from the community?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Hi, Jules. This is James.
Hey,
How are you?
you gonna come hang out with us May 30th?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to make it on May 30th, but I'm sorry I didn't make it the last one, but I was down for 3 days with food poisoning.
Oh, that's not good.
Able to make it for that clean up. But I want to thank you for doing the logistics to have all those students being able to get on base to participate and attend this heiau that's in Lualuale. And it's a massive heiau. If nobody has seen it, it's pretty massive. But I'm going to try and make it on May 30th, and I'll probably see you then.
Oh, thank you so much. I'll see you then.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to put out the request that our board make an intent to be present for this upcoming May 30th as a board to support and learn about the cultural site at Lualuale Naval. So this invitation is open. All members can be present together. Thank you, board members, for coming out to participate May 30th, 9 a.m. Jules, if you can add every member of our board to the RSVP list, and if anyone's unable to attend, they can let me know. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Question, Board Member Myers.
Thank you, Chair. Jules, the Army has done an EA that includes Makua, Kahuku training, and also Poamoho Ridge in Wahewa. So those three are including Pohakuloa, because of the leases going to be expiring in 2029. But included in all that Army land or all that military land that's leases that's going to expire in 2029 is actually Lualuale Naval. And so because you didn't go on the EA, I'm assuming, because you didn't complete an EA, I'm assuming that Lualuale Naval or the Navy is intending to allow the lease to expire. And because those lands are crown and government lands from the Hawaiian Nation, the agreement with the military is that it's supposed to come back to the Hawaiian people through the Department of Hawaiian Homelands. So can you verify that indeed the Navy is going to shut down Lulu Lane Naval in 2029 because they're not going to pursue renewing the lease, so that our our Senator DeCourt and Representative Keela, because it exists in our representative area, District 44, that they can start working with the Navy on taking the steps in order to make sure it's, that it's made safe for our Native Hawaiian DHHL to take ownership of, or to put in paperwork for DHHL to take ownership of those lands, have those lands transferred to the Hawaiian people through DHHL. Can you do that?
Yeah, I don't know the details about that. So again, I'll have to play Hermes and be the messenger and see what information I can gather and explain what you just told me, and then also gather the information what they're allowed to tell me. So I'll do my best to try get all I can with the authority that I have to get you an answer.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. Any further questions for the Navy? Seeing none. Thank you, Jules. We appreciate your time. Next on our agenda, we have board business, approval of Tuesday, April 15th, regular minutes.
So moved, Chair.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Payo. Motion by Board Member Myers. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no.
No, there was some corrections.
Okay. Board Member Hano, if you can state your recommended edits.
On the guest list, it was not updated. It looks like that was a guest list from another month because it shows Irwin and not the new mayor's rep. It also shows it doesn't show Major Kapis or Lieutenant Colonel Kapis. It doesn't show the Ma'o people. So it's just the guest list wasn't updated. It looks like an old guest list.
Okay, to entertain a motion with edits to the guest list.
I amend the motion to include the corrections so noted by Board Member Naomi Hano.
Motion and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. April 2025 board member attendance at community meetings and public hearings.
Alrighty, so when I call your name, please use your microphone to state which meetings you attend in the community, if any. Board Member Ayo, use your microphone, please.
Waianae Kupuna Council meeting. That's it.
Board Member Texter,
NHIS PTSA, Kawaihona Forum, May Day with Kawaihona NHIS, Hawaiian Affairs, and Parks and Rec.
Board Member Kong,
Fox and Rex and Hawaiian Affairs and Waianae Kapuna Council. HSL. Which one was it? Oh, and I was Hui Cemetery meeting.
Board Member Shinsato,
Waianae Neighborhood Board, Representative Chris Morica, top story session, Housing and Zoning Subcommittee, as well as Transportation.
Board Member Myers,
April 1st, Waianae Neighborhood Board meeting. April 2nd, OHA committee meeting. April 3rd, OHA BOT meeting. April 2nd as well, Transportation and Housing Committee meeting. On April 17th, OHA BOT meeting. The 23rd, OHA Budget and Finance Committee meeting. And then as well on the 23rd, DHHL Yorktown Transitional Shelter Beneficiary Consultation meeting. And then on the 28th, the NCO board meeting. And then on the 30th, OHA committee meeting. But I also forgot the 7th and the 14th, I had the Kahuli Au DHHL water law training. Thanks.
Board Member Simpson.
NHIS Community School Hui meeting, Kawaihona Quorum. Sorry, that's all I have lumped. I can't remember the rest.
Board Member Naomi Hanohano online.
Representative Joe Takuta's town hall. That's it.
Thank you. And Chair Gustin.
Waianae Neighborhood Board meeting. Ahupua o Nānākuli Hawaiian Homestead Association meeting. Kawaihona Okana'oau's community meeting. And that's it. Oh, sorry, the Paradise Cove hearing, which was approved by DPP. Thank you. Moving forward with the committee reports, Water and Land Chair and Hawaiian Affairs Chair, Park and Rec Chair, Mapuana Tector.
Hi, for Land and Water, it was canceled due to illness. I apologize. We'll resume in the month of June, the first Thursday. For Hawaiian Affairs, I want to make a recommendation that we write a letter to Department of Hawaiian Homelands in support for lessee Mr. Raposa and his family, and to find out the details that is really required. A month-to-month changes as we find out where lessees are being challenged, that we get the accurate data from the Department of Hawaiian Homelands. And we had a good turnout. For Parks and Rec, we do understand that there are a lot of people that utilize the park. If I could only get the same amount of people that attend the parks for their children to attend my meetings, so the repairs can get done, and safety due to lighting and all that. But yeah, thank you. Next meeting to resume next month, the second Wednesday. Thank you.
Thank you, Committee Chair for Housing and Zoning, and also for Transportation, Board Member Jermaine Myers.
Thank you, Chair. On May 7th, our Transportation Committee meeting had a meeting. First and foremost, we discussed with the representatives of the Ahupua'o Nānākuli for Christmas on the Avenue and Nānāikupona Protestant Church, the Operation Blue Light. And because we had moved to support them, that's why tonight they were on the agenda for full board approval. The next thing we had, the only other thing we had spoken about, because it was a long meeting, was also regarding the cultural impact assessment for the proposed Farrington Highway widening project, which would create a 5th lane heading, so it'd be a 3rd lane heading to eastbound to town on Farrington Highway. And so it's starting at Helelua, going all the way until Uliava Canal. And the unfortunate thing is that although she provided us information about the project, she did not provide us with the cultural sites that have been identified. So someone from the mainland was on virtual, and none of us could hear about the cultural sites, the Iwi Kupuna that were identified in this project zone. So our feedback to her was to come back to our committee and provide us with those details of the archaeological sites that were identified, because this consultant is supposed to provide feedback from our community based upon the cultural impact assessment in this project zone before they do the environmental assessment. So it's really important for our committee on transportation that those archaeological sites are identified to our community members so that we can give sufficient feedback so that those things would not be disturbed and that they would be dealt with as protocol and the state law provides. And then as far as the housing committee, we discussed the Hawaii Interagency Council on Homelessness, that report that I spoke about tonight to Rep. Keela as well as the governor's rep, asking for responses about that. And then the other thing is our concerns about the governor's proclamation on the homelessness. We discussed that as well. So that is it for my report.
Thank you. And then we have our Education Chair and Public Health and Safety Chair, Board Member Paul Ayo.
First of all, the education aspect of our meeting, I want to announce that we won't have one this month due to an emergency that's a good emergency for me. I have to go to the state of Washington for another meeting. I'm marrying some couple from Washington. Someone's sending me there. It's an emergency to get somebody married. That's what it is. Anyway, on the education side, I'm happy to announce that Nānākuli High School will be the high school on the west side that's going to be designated for the SRO program. Okay? So, lucky for us. The other thing, I wanted to make an announcement because I'm on the Public Health and Safety Chair part of it. Myself and Mark, along with other volunteers from our community, we have formulated Aha Hui o Nānākuli Hawaiian Homestead Cemetery as the beginning of our project for fire-wise safety for the entire valley of Nānākuli. This is just the beginning of formulating a 501c3, which would be the cemetery cleanup crew, which is us. We're doing that so that we can get the valley involved in the annual cleanup once we get to the announcements. But I'll make that announcement now. It'll be on June, I believe, and I look at my calendar here real quick. June the 21st is a Saturday, 89-700 Haleakala Avenue. It's the Nānākuli Cemetery. We're going to have our annual, what we call annual Nānākuli Cemetery Beautification Project. And we're the leading 501c3 that's going to conduct this. It's just a meeting of everybody in the valley to come and clean the cemetery. And at the same time, we're going to make a fire-wise announcement while we're there, having the community present so that we can advise them of what we want to do, making our valley fire safe. That's about it. Be from 9 o'clock in the morning to about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And we'll have everything provided for anybody who shows up, volunteer.
Thank you. Our committee meets every first Thursday, 6 p.m. Kalanianaʻole Beach Park for water and land. Every first Wednesday, 6 p.m. Nānākuli Public Library for transportation. Every first Wednesday, 7:30 p.m., Nānākuli Public Library for housing and zoning. Every second Wednesday, 6 p.m. at Kalanianaʻole Beach Park for Hawaiian Affairs. Every second Wednesday, 7 p.m., Kalanianaʻole Beach Park for Park and Recreation. Every last Tuesday, 6:30 p.m., Kalanianaʻole Beach Park for Education. And every last Tuesday, 7:30 p.m., Kalanianaʻole Beach Park for Public Health and Safety. So long as the agenda is posted, there will be a meeting at these locations and times. Thank you for your participation. We encourage the community to come out and get engaged. Last on our agenda, we have announcements. Nānākuli and Ma'ili Elementary Schools are celebrating their May Day tomorrow, Wednesday, May 21st at 8:30 a.m. What resources are available for the conversion of cesspool, please come and attend that meeting. Ho'omaika'i to the graduating class of 2025 Nānākuli High and Intermediate School commencement ceremony will be this Saturday, May 24, 2025 at 5 p.m. The graduation ceremony will be at the stadium, and then the lay ceremony will be at the softball field. The annual Ohana Hawaiian Canoe Racing Association Father's Day Regatta is at the Kalanianaʻole Beach Park on Sunday, June 15, 2025. Our next regular board meeting will be on Tuesday, June 17th at 7 p.m. Nānākuli Public Library via WebEx platform. Mahalo everyone for tuning in and being present for our meeting tonight. We appreciate all of you. Have a wonderful night. Get home safe. This meeting's adjourned.